Hello, Patreon supporters. Thank you for your continued donations and support. Again, I'm not allowed to do the giveaways anymore. It's against Patreon rules, so I'm uploading old TGS videos that are no longer available for a variety of reasons. One, the NFL used to block videos, so this is Broncos Dolphins from like 2014. Not quite as embarrassing as the last video I shared here, but it was a review with Peyton Manning, with the whole crew, in a pretty exciting Dolphins game with Joe Philbin, who will be coaching this week. So this video, only for my patrons here. Hope this is worth it.
I hope it's worth it.
Oh, welcome to That's Good Broncos, the only Denver Broncos show that on Thanksgiving week can say the main thing we are thankful for here is that Von Miller can still in fact have children after he takes a nasty knee to the dick, balls, and taint. Oh, no man likes to see this. But I'm not a man, so play it again. That's Good Broncos. The Denver Broncos beat the Miami Dolphins on Sunday 39-36, and as the close score suggests, this game was a battle of wills. No, I did not say battle of irrelevant wills. Anyway, there were some mysterious forces at work again in this game. Playing creatures from the sea, dolphins, they had to battle Poseidon, Greek mythological god of the sea. And no, I am not crazy. I just see shit regular-minded people cannot see. Some people call it schizophrenia. I call it a gift. I'll start by saying Poseidon is not only known as Zeus's brother, but he is in fact known as the tamer of horses. So when the Dolphins fumble 3 times and the Broncos don't recover any of them, don't sit here and tell me that seaweed-wrapped god of the sea isn't trying to tame our horses. And that is exactly why the Dolphins drove down on the opening drive and scored this easy touchdown. Poseidon! The Broncos' first drive started with 4 consecutive run plays to CJ Anderson. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to admire their dedication. Then Peyton Manning did this. Sanders headbutt, which was actually a warning to Emmanuel Sanders that Jimmy Wilson was about to headbutt him. Hey Wilson, you don't headbutt recently concussed players. The opening Broncos drive stalled, and Brandon McManus made this 38-yard field goal because at this point in the game, it wasn't an important kick. The second quarter began with another easy Dolphins touchdown. They were up 14-3 at this point. The Broncos were facing diversity yet again, but on this day they responded with courage. Emmanuel Sanders said, "Hey, Pepe, I'll save your ass in 3rd down situations. Give me the ball so I can turn a 3rd and 5 into an 18-yard gain." Not to be outdone, CJ Anderson said, "Hey, Pepe, give me a pitch and I'll turn it into a 25-yard game." And that's, exactly how NFL players communicate to each other. Then, Jimmy Wilson, the Poseidon-controlled yellowtail grunt that he is, tried to rip off Sanders' head by tackling him by the back of the helmet. That's a 15-yard penalty, you dick, and your second illegal blow to Sanders' head. I'm watching you, Jimmy Wilson, and all of your future head-related activities. That penalty was a perfect setup for this Demaryius Thomas touchdown that Manning major lasers into Thomas's belly, cutting the Dolphin lead down 14-10. The Dolphins scored a touchdown right after that lobster fucking god of the sea guided this Dolphins fumble back into their slippery, slimy fins, going up 21-10. Halftime was approaching. The cold air in Denver was doing its best to freeze out the horse-taming Poseidon and the Dolphins. But Denver's god, Peyton Manning, was well aware of this. And to counter-punch them, he finds Demaryius Thomas across the middle of the field for a substantial gain. Emmanuel Sanders followed that impressive play by adding 10 yards of his own. Poseidon would not go into the half without a fight, so he activated our biggest weakness, offensive line penalties in critical situations. Center Will Montgomery was flagged for a hands to the face penalty. I was worried the Broncos were backed up, staring down the barrel of a 3rd and 20, but Emmanuel Sanders came to the rescue with this acrobatic, angelic, labor-inducing catch to get the Broncos a fresh set of downs. Woo! With 12 seconds left in the half, Peyton Manning shoved his thick fingers into the defensive blowholes of the Dolphins and drilled Demaryius Thomas for a score here to close out the half, only trailing 21-17. Nice work, boys. The Broncos began the 3rd quarter with an impressive drive. C.J. Anderson and Hammer Pound Thompson each contributed to moving the chains with a couple big runs. But as the Broncos got into scoring territory, Poseidon, fresh with power after watching Joe Philbin rope a mermaid at halftime, took control of the weakest horse of them all, Brandon McManus. McManus stepped in and shanked the kick. I'm not even gonna show you the miss. Instead, I will show you Manny Ramirez's and Demaryius Thomas's reactions to it. Exactly how I felt. But in all fairness, Ramirez, you've made your fair share of mistakes as well. Don't even make me say which one everybody knows I'm talking about. My girlfriend's favorite player, Hampot, decided to take control of the game after the McManus shank and rubbed out the only sack on Ryan Tannehill. Hampot! Still down 21-17, they were in a position to take back the lead until a wave of mystical bullshit came crashing down on them in the form of an Isaiah Burst fumble on the ensuing punt return. Of course, the Dolphins took advantage of this great field position and extended the lead 28-17. One man had enough of this, and that man was Demaryius Thomas, who single-handedly started disabling the Dolphins' defense. DT summoned some Emmanuel-type strength when he ended the game in what now looks like to be the season for Jamar Taylor by shoving Taylor with his beast arms. What's the ocean's greatest threat? Wrong answer. It's overfishing and pollution, but its 3rd biggest threat is Dolphin Slayer Demaryius Thomas, who gutted these fish, coming across the middle for a Denver Broncos touchdown. Denver, in a desperate situation, goes for a 2-point conversion and converts the conversion with this well-designed play fake and pass to Emmanuel Sanders. The Broncos close the gap in the game 28-25. Ooh, I hope I'm building the intensity for you, because I feel like I am. Emmanuel Sanders, who was not 100% healthy for the game, still proved he was better than any Dolphin defender. He almost immediately topped himself by making this catch, even though he was being molested by a Dolphin D-back. And everybody knows Dolphins are the most rapey creatures in the wild, so this was no surprise. This led to a CJ Bash Anderson touchdown run. That's right, his new nickname is Bash. That way, I can call him and Orlando Franklin, Franklin and Bash. Just like that shitty TV show nobody watched for 4 seasons. With that touchdown, the Broncos took the lead for the first time in the game, 32-28. Poseidon had nothing left. Ryan Tannehill throws a decent pass to Jarvis Landry, but Landry was blanketed by Chris Harris, causing Tannehill's pass to bounce off Landry's shoulder pad and into TJ Ward's hands, who dutifully returned the ball to the 8-yard line. I shouldn't even have to say this, but with the Broncos on the 8-yard line, they scored an easy touchdown. Manning carves out the last bit of dolphin-included canned tuna meat while rolling right and flicking the ball to Wes, yes, I'm still Shifty Welker, for the touchdown. Manny Ramirez officially put out his audition tape for Interstellar 2. As he tried to throw Wes Welker into outer space after the touchdown. Manny, you should not be throwing Welker around like that. Not with all the head injuries he's had. You're lucky the Broncos weren't playing in a dome, because he may have hit his head on the fucking ceiling. I thought it was over, but that disgusting filthmonger from the sea let the Dolphins score one more touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Needless to say, the Broncos recovered the ball, took a kneel, won the game 39-36. I just want to be clear, Poseidon is a very old pervert god who lives in the ocean, eats lobster every day, and has fish sex with barely legal mermaids whenever he wants. And Joe Philbin is the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, who just happens to look like an old pervert. But they are not the same person. I know the NFL is a greedy, money-hungry organization who likes to cut corners wherever they can, but is it too much to ask for them to get Kleenexes on the sidelines for players? And I hate to be a rat. It's Not true. If I went to prison, I would definitely be the rat. But I think Emmanuel Sanders gets his He-Man type strength and focus from cocaine. I guess he does cocaine before every single game. I think the NFL should let players do cocaine. I also have to point out that the failed onside kick by the Dolphins was very impressive. The kicker went behind his leg, and fooled nobody. It was like a spinning roundhouse kick. One of those things that looks very cool, but is ineffective unless used in a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. Don't forget to go watch the Big Dick Player episode. It's a good one. Thanks for watching That's Good Broncos, and make sure to subscribe to my channel, That's Good Sports, if you haven't already. Also, go like my Facebook page at facebook.com/that'sgoodbroncos. I post a lot of shit there, and I'd like it if you went there and liked it. Now, go watch the Big Dick Player episode. That's my impression of a dolphin, or Joe Philbin.